Hello everyone, good day and assalamu alaikum. So for our part, we will be discussing correcting knowledge and sound symbol correspondence. And perhaps the joy of teaching for us future teachers is when we realize that our students have the ability to analyze and decode words into the correct sounds. Yes, this skill may be easy for some students to master, but others would still need further instruction with regard to it. So, from the title itself, sound symbol, it means identifying the sounds in a word and how to present those sounds with letters in order to read the word. And we also have here a clearer definition of our discussion. Sound symbol correspondence refers to the phonics instruction to help readers understand how letters are linked to sounds or phonemes to form letter sound correspondences and spelling patterns. So, by the way, phonics instruction is a method of teaching beginners to read and pronounce words by learning the characteristic sounds of letters and syllables. And later we will be focusing on the vowel rules or principles and accent generalizations, which are important here. So, sound symbol correspondence, in addition, involves knowledge of the sounds represented by the letters of the alphabet, more likely the vowels, and how these letters are used to represent sounds. So I know it might sound complex, but no, it's really not that complex. And if you are wondering as to why we need to study this or learn this, well, it is because we all know how important and essential it is in reading and writing, right? So it is also a way of distinguishing words that sound alike. In written form, yes, we can distinguish the difference, especially the meaning, but not in the way we hear it or read it. So sometimes there are glitches or misunderstandings. For example, let's be open here. The word beach and beach. You see, if you're just going to listen from someone, it might sound like they are the same. But we have to be aware that there is a distinction in here. It is important that we pronounce it correctly because the way we pronounce it is also the way our listeners would comprehend it or understand it. So I guess, yes, pronunciation is very important here. So how it is done? First, the learner must recognize the letters in a word and associate each letter with its sound. And second, in order to write or type a word, the learner must break the word into its component sounds and know the symbols that represent these sounds. So now we will focus on the vowel rules or principles and accent generalization. So we have 11 rules, and I will be discussing the first 4 rules, and the succeeding rules will be discussed by my partner. In learning these vowel rules or principles, it will help us enhance our speaking and listening vocabulary as well as our literacy skills in a way that we are able to convey the right message when communicating or when we read a certain word. So, just like what I have said a while ago, pronunciation is very important. Okay, so now let's go to rule number 1. In words containing a single vowel letter at the end of the word, the vowel letter usually has the long vowel sound. For example, here we have the she, me, and we. As you can see, I use the letter E vowel to indicate that this word shall be read in a long vowel sound because as the rule implies, in a single vowel letter at the end of the word, we should read that in a long vowel sound. For example, she, me, and we. So we also have to take note that this rule refers to words and not only just syllables because there is another rule for that or to single word letters which has an end syllables. Rule number 2, in syllables containing a single vowel letter at the end of the syllable, the vowel letter may have either the long or short vowel sound. So in these examples, bite, life, and bake, let's try first the long sound. So we say bite, life, bake. And we can also use the short vowel sound like bite, life, and bake. It now depends on the context where we use it. If we are doing a speech and there's this part where you intend to inspire, you say, life is beautiful if we find goodness in it. Or if we are upset, we can use the short vowel sound saying, life is full of disappointments. You see, there's difference. Okay, for the rule number 3, it says that a single vowel in a syllable usually has the short vowel sound if it is not the last letter or is not followed by consonants R, W, or L. So if this word or a certain word is not followed by R, W, or L, then we have to read that in a short vowel sound. For example, here we have the nap, nag, and pack. You see, I used the vowel A, which is in the middle, hence it has to be pronounced in a short vowel sound, especially, yes, according to the rule, not followed by R, W, or L, because if it is followed by any of these consonants, it would be changed into long vowel sound, just like grow, roar, and goal. Of course, we also have to take note that a single vowel in a closed syllable or short vowels that end with consonant, these are read usually in a short vowel sound. Rule number 4, which is very simple and understandable, vowels followed by R usually have a sound that is neither long nor short. So we have here examples, and let's try first the long sound. We have the car, farm, and fork. Or we can also use car, farm, or fork. Yes, we can use either the long or the short vowel sound if a vowel is followed by the letter or the consonant R.
So now let's move on to the rule number 5. As we all know, the letter Y is considered a vowel when there is no other vowel in the word, just like the word fry, sly, gym, and myth. But if a Y is at the beginning of a word, it has a Y consonant sound. So let's take a look at these examples. Yes, yawn, and yell. How about the second part? Because this rule number 5 has divided into 3 parts. The second part is when Y is at the end of a single syllable word, when preceded by a consonant, has the long I sound. So what do we call the single syllable word? A single syllable word is a word that has only one syllable. For example, buy, my, try, and cry. The last part of rule number 5 is when Y is at the end of a multi-syllable word, when preceded by a consonant, usually has the long E sound. Earlier, the sound is a long I, and now is a long E. For example, energy, happy, carry. By the way, multi-syllable word is a word that has more than one syllables. Like this in example, energy, energy, energy. Rule number 6, in words ending with vowel consonant silent E, the E is silent and the first vowel may be either long or short. But try the long sound first, like this in the example: sail, pale, spine, smile, dine, swine. In teaching this rule, stress the students should be flexible. Try the short vowel sound if the long one does not form a word in his or her speaking listening vocabulary. It has been demonstrated that students who are taught to be flexible in attacking words when applying rules such as this become more adept at using word attack skills than those who are not taught this flexibility. So let's move on to rule number 7. Rule number 7 is when AG, AY, EA, EE, and OA are found together. The first vowel is usually long and the second is usually silent. So let's take a look at these examples. Goat, coat, pain, eat, slay, meat. Here, we only pronounce OA as O, as in goat. We do not pronounce the goat as goat or goat. We only pronounce the first vowel and the second vowel is silent. So, we were getting closer to the end of this discussion, so keep on watching. The next rule is rule number 8. In this rule, we have two options. The first option is the vowel pair O may have in the word cow pronounced as ow. The second option is the sound heard crow pronounced as O. Like this example, which is the first option is O as cow, now, owl, gown. And the second option is O as crow is snow, grow, and low. Now for the rule number 9 is when AU, AW, OU, OI, and OY are found together, they usually blend to form a diphthong. A diphthong is a sound formed by combining two vowels in a single syllable in which the sound begins as one vowel and moves toward another. Like these examples: toad, brown, loud, broad, coin, and toy. For the rule number 10, the OO sound is either long, as in moon, or short, as in book. Like for example, the long U sound, as in moon, is these examples: zoom, soon, and many others. For the short U sound, as in book, for other examples, look, took, and cook. And for the last rule, which is the rule number 11, is if A is the only vowel in a syllable and is followed by L or W, then the A is usually neither long nor short. Like for example, tall, ball. The vowel is pronounced here as neither long nor short. It is pronounced in an average level. Other examples are wall and law.
So yes, it is very important that we know these vowel rules because it's what makes a word be pronounced correctly. By the way, accent has less importance because pronunciation is more important. That's because there are a variety of accents we have, especially we have our own mother tongue. Of course, there is still a need to teach students the use of affixes so that they will have a better understanding of contractions, inflections, and derivational endings. So yes, correcting knowledge and sound symbol correspondence is very important because it leads to accurate phonetic analysis, which is a vital aspect in the process of learning to read. By the way, we also have here the Syllablication Principles because according to one PDF we downloaded, it is also important to know about this. So we have here only 5 principles, and these are, don't worry, easy to understand and absorb. The first principle is when two consonants stand between two vowels, the word is usually divided between the consonants. For example, here we have the dagger and circus. You see the underlined vowels there. We have 2 syllables in there. We have the dagger and circus. But in some of the newer materials, they divide these words after the double consonant, just like dag, and circus. Then we have the second principle. When one consonant stands between two vowels, try dividing first so that the consonant goes with the second vowels. For example, we have there the paper and motor. So, of course, as you can see, letter P is the consonant there, and A and E are the two vowels in between the consonant. So we have there the pay, per, and motor. Then the third principle, when a word ends in a consonant and LE, the consonant usually begins the last syllable. So for example, we have the table and humble. So because the principle says that if there's this consonant before letters L and E, then that is where you divide it. So it goes like ball and ball. So there's also two syllables. Then the fourth principle, compound words are usually divided between word parts and between syllables in these parts. So we have hen house, policeman. So I guess you all know how to divide syllables. And then lastly, prefixes and suffixes usually form separate syllables. But still, this is more of like a recap or review, by the way, so that in our future endeavor in teaching our students, we can tell them that there are principles that has to be followed so that we really know how do we divide syllables. To end this discussion, yes, we have here like suggestions in teaching sound symbol correspondences. So first, you can use cards that include pictures of an item. You can also use instructional strategy just like flashcards. But for those in rural areas, I guess, they can use whiteboard and a marker. Students write the letter, then say the sound, or the teacher says the sound and the students writes the letter. Then there are also other instances like pudding, a sand, a play-doh, so that students can form letters. Lastly, teachers can also use music like video as well, so that they are more likely motivated. Using video, including a sound, then students can also sing along with or mimic the sound being heard. So this increases the number of senses that students use. So I guess that's all for our part. Thank you for staying with us till the end.